Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is August the 3rd, 2026. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Monday, happy Garfield Day. Hopefully, you got that lasagna. Hopefully, you got a little wine, a little garlic bread on the side. Hopefully, the day just treated you well, treated you nice. As for me, as for mine, it's been a good day. It's been pretty solid, especially for a working Monday, coming off of impromptu 3 days off. Yeah, it was weird. It kind of it felt nicer to go through my workday as opposed to like my weekend. And I know that's a bit self inflicted because I just stayed in all weekend and whatnot. But having to do some forced interaction because work, it was kind of nice, I guess, in a way to kind of force me to like, hey, gotta go talk. People are gonna, come up to you and say yada yada yada, and you're gonna say yada yada back, which is good for passing time. And I think just also working, just having a constant toil situation, kind of nice. But it was weird because at our startup meeting today, they're like, hey, it looks like things are going to be picking up, work's going to be coming in, blah, 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 rah, rah, rah. And I was like, all right, that's interesting because it doesn't seem to be that busy downstairs, at least for me. At least for me in my trash, there's not much is coming down. I did find out though that like we had like a situation where we had new people on the equipment. So essentially, like people like bringing up stuff like the cardboard buggies. So at least new to our department and helping out whatever. So that was kind of a reason for some of the delay, but it really just didn't pick up that much today. It was pretty even keeled, especially for a supposed busy Monday. But that being said, there was a lot of like putbacks, so I did get called upstairs. I eventually did go upstairs to do that. I participated in that for, a little bit. And then I scampered back downstairs to finish off my day doing some cardboard buggies. So yeah, overall, it was actually a pretty good work day, which I think also helped for the vibes. And then we went to the gym. Gym was busy, but it's classic Monday. We got in there. I didn't go too crazy. Did my thing, and then I got out. Post the gym, we came home. Then I skipped the stretch. I haven't been stretching as much as I should, maybe, but just haven't, I guess in a good way, I'll knock on wood, haven't been too sore, at least in terms of like needing to stretch. But that's no excuse because you're just waiting to like be fucked up. I feel like if you're not stretching constantly, I think it's just better too. So yeah, I'm going against my better judgment there, being a little lazy bones, but did have a snack. Did get myself together in terms of like research for the day. Got a few stories I wanted to go through. So yeah, let's go ahead and do our startup and let's get into the news. Mm. Okay. Our first story is coming from BBC News. Russia says 7 killed and 40 injured by Ukrainian drone hitting busy beach. A drone hit a busy beach in southern Russia, killing 7 people, including 3 children, local authorities have said. In social media footage verified by the BBC, a drone can be seen hurtling towards a cliffside before crashing into a fireball on the beach below as tourists look on from the shore and in the water. The total number of injured reached 40, with 17 people hospitalized, said the governor of Krasnodar region, Vitamin Kontratev. We just tried that. There we go. He accused Ukraine of a deliberate strike on civilians. Ukraine has not commented. Both sides deny targeting civilians deliberately. It is unclear what the drone was targeting. Some Ukrainian Telegram channels have claimed it crashed onto the beach as a result of electronic warfare, which jammed the drone's signal. Several eyewitnesses were quoted by Russian media saying gunfire preceded the explosion, indicating that air defenses may have tried to shoot the drone down. The crash occurred on a beach near the village of Archipo Osipolska on the Black Sea. With its warm climate, long beaches, and developed tourist infrastructure, it is a very popular or is a popular holiday destination for Russians, in particular since sanctions have curtailed international travel for many. Let's see. What else I really wanted to cover here? Here we go, a highlighted portion. On Saturday, at least 9 people were killed and dozens injured in Russian ballistic missile strikes on Kyiv, according to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The city's mayor said a residential building in the Shevchenskivinsky, sure, mea culpa, district was partially destroyed, trapping people inside. Last week, a strike on a building in Ukraine's Kryvyi area killed a family of 10. See, there's been a lot of back and forth here. They're also adding, in recent weeks, Ukrainian strikes have in particular targeted warehouses belonging to Wildberries, a large retailer dubbed the Russian Amazon, which when I initially had heard about this, I want to say maybe a week or so back, I was like, I mean, I get that in maybe like a retail economic damage sense, but it's like, no, it's not really so much that, though, that, you could say it's incidental, if you will. Apparently, like, military stuff is also ordered off of this site, and there's a little bit of that involved. So you are really attacking, I guess, the military infrastructure, hitting these warehouses. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's an added new layer in this conflict, in this war. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely been a lot of back and forth, but not as much, it seems, on the ground. But I mean, that's being said and portrayed, that's a good thing for Ukraine, because it means they're not really losing any territory. So that's good. So yeah, a bit of an update there. Switch things up on the dock, and I know the thumbnail and everything's gonna not line up, but oh well, whatever. We're gonna move on though to our next story from NPR. Thousands of people under evacuation order from wildfires in Spokane, Washington. Large numbers of residents in the city of Spokane have been told to urgently evacuate their homes due to rapidly moving wildfires in eastern Washington state. There are 3 larger and fast-moving fires in and around the city, with the biggest threat coming from the Old Trails fire. That fire started on Saturday afternoon local time and had burned over 3,500 acres by early Sunday morning, according to the Watch Duty app. Swaths of Spokane are under level 3 evacuation orders, which read, "Leave now. This may be your only notice." Which that'd be such a scary thing to receive. Like, oh shit. Like, I maybe you notice it's a little hazy out, a little smoky out. It's like, no, you need to get out of there, like right now. Late Saturday night, the Washington National Guard was mobilized to assist local first responders. The Washington National Guard is making 30 members available tonight to Spokane authorities for any emerging needs, it said in a Facebook post. Which is very interesting that like things are still getting posted, in the metaverse still. But hey, for certain demographics, I'm sure, for the elderly like myself, no, Facebook, you're definitely going to that and not, a Discord server or something like that. God damn, I can still barely fucking interact on that app, but so it goes. Let's see here. On Saturday, Washington State Governor Bob Ferguson declared a statewide wildfire emergency. Ferguson said he would travel to Spokane on Sunday morning and added, "If you are in the area, please continue to be vigilant and follow directions of emergency personnel." The 3 fires, named the Old Trails, Fairview, and Autumn Lane, those are such cozy, cute names for fires, have been driven by strong winds and low humidity. I was sitting near in an elementary school and saw a wall of flames east of the school and just a cascade of black smoke and a wall of flames coming toward me, said Alexandra Dugan, a public safety reporter for the Spokesman Review, a daily newspaper in Spokane. To go through more details of the fire, specifically, I guess the Old Trails fire, which is like the big one. I haven't heard of any loss of life as of yet, but I know, a lot of times I cover this and the next thing a person or two, winds up, being found or, things like that. Obviously, it's very unfortunate. It's very sad. Hopefully, though, knocking on wood, we people got out, people are safe. That is what we're rooting for. That is what we're hoping for. But still very scary to have your whole life potentially uprooted by something like this. And, it's different for every house, every street. I was listening to a story on, what is it, Start Here today, where it was like, a whole street burned down, and you're getting so many stories where like there's like a burnout deer and like the chimney and the pool, everything else cinders, ash, nothing. But then like two houses or so down, they just have a bit of lawn damage, some obviously fire damage around the house a bit for sure, but overall they can come home and they're okay. Like their home is okay. They just have to like, clean up and hopefully be vigilant, and they're going to be all right. And like that's such a crazy situation. I mean, you would call that a miracle if you were religious, right? It'd be hard not to, at least for that person, right? But obviously, it's a nightmare for everyone else. It's a nightmare for that person, picking up the whole fucking pieces of your neighborhood like that. It's a scary time. It's a scary season, but it always is. Mother Nature is not quitting. That's for sure. Climate change be damned. He's only going to get more pissy, and I understand that. Anyway, we're gonna move on. Bit of an update in the Blanche situation of the acting attorney general Todd Blanche variety. I guess whatever. I botched that. Who cares? We're moving on. CBS News. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche issues order rescinding anti-weaponization fund. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche issued an order Sunday evening, formally rescinding plans to create a $1.8 billion fund meant to compensate allies of President Trump. The order came after weeks of negotiation with Republican Senators Tom Tillis and John Corwin, who were threatening to block Blanche's confirmation for the permanent position to lead the Justice Department. Granted, we've already talked about this. This is pretty much a lame duck situation. They had already lost. Trump had given his Trump bump and said, you guys are losers, and I hope you lose. And they lost. And essentially, he was saying, hey, if you guys are going to drag your feet, then fine. I'll just hold him. He can be interim for the rest of the year. And then when you guys are gone, your replacements will definitely vote for him. I don't care. He also went on to further say, oh, and I'll reinstitute this thing like you guys are scared about, which is like, that's so funny to be blowing up this thing that they're like saying, dude, Trump, all we really want, we want to work with you on this. We just think that this is a crazy thing. These guys literally tried to like coup us. They tried to do a coup. Like, and all we're saying is like, please don't use this this $1.8 billion to like fund them in some kind of way, like, let's just not do that. And can we just put that on record? And essentially this was, the administration kind of bucking and saying, okay, fine, we're putting in writing since our word isn't enough. But really, this isn't enough either. They could always reinstitute this like Trump is threatening. There's so many ways to go about it. And also, to me, the thing that is also annoying, I have this highlighted still, so let me go ahead and cover it real quick. The document released by Blanche on Sunday night also limits the scope of another provision of the settlement that provided broad immunity for Mr. Trump and members of his family from tax audits. It clarifies that the tax audit immunity agreement applies only retroactively to claims open at the time of the settlement and does not protect the president from the examination future tax filings. And it's like cool that you got him for the future shit, but the fact that this retroactively yet again makes him bulletproof, and I wouldn't be surprised if somehow, some way, this also extends to like family members, other fucking people, like that's also problematic. So the fact that like Tom Tillis and Corwin and other people were like, we're okay with that though, that's fine, we're willing to like let it. It's just how we get here every fucking time. We will never hold these motherfuckers accountable for fucking shit. It's apparent. Like, obviously, it sucks. Like, it's like we had that window to just barely do it with the Jack Smith, special prosecution shit and the Biden administration. Ugh, such a forlorn, blah, blah, yada, yada thing, right? But we missed it. Boom, we blew it. Whatever, I guess. And I mean, maybe that was by design. Fucking whatever. The more I think about that shit, whenever I do ponder on that, like, no matter what, whether you're talking to a Democrat, you're talking to a Republican, all these motherfuckers are going to allow this shit to happen every fucking time. Like, they just let this corruption shit rot and get worse, or they actively participate in it. So it's a lose lose. These motherfuckers are never for us, and it always just sucks to see. But hey, that's part of the reason why I got to doing this shit, because I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to have at least some place to vent about this shit, because it makes me mad, and I didn't like just doing a bunch of keystrokes and getting like 3 likes on Facebook. That wasn't enough for me. Not that this is doing anything, but still it feels at least better for me, and I can at least run it back. And maybe someday I'll get better at it. I don't know. Hey, who knows? Maybe one day I'll figure this shit out. We'll actually get some. No, I'm starting to sound like a fucking egomaniac. Anyway, we'll go ahead and call this story covered. I want to move on to our last update, our last story for the day. Let's see. It's from NBC News. But yeah, let's go ahead and take our last break, and we will close it out there. We're going back to Michigan. We're going back. We're going back to the Cyclospora. I think I said it right. I also think by a landslide, like Cyclospora is definitely our virus not that this is a pandemic or anything like that, of course, but like it's definitely our viral thing of the year. Usually something comes up and it gets attention, whether it be the measles, whether it be listeria. Longtime listeners know I definitely feel like Cyclospora is coming out, like not even a dark horse. It's there. It's a front runner from the back end, you feel me? Anyway, what am I saying? I'm not even finished my break. I'm so ready to talk about this fucking. Oh yeah. Okay. Michigan reports 2 deaths in cyclosporasis outbreak. 2 people died in Michigan who had contracted cyclosporasis. Sorry, I'm spacing out in the sentence. Let me run it back. 2 people in Michigan who had contracted cyclosporasis have died, the state health and human services department said on Monday. Both people whose identities were not provided had significant underlying health conditions that may have been impacted by cyclosporasis and dehydration, according to a news release. Man, dude, I was bummed to hear this story, and I'm trying to add levity here. I need to say that obviously condolences is very sad. Any kind of fucking loss of life, it's a bummer. But like to go out like this, man, that's not how. Like, don't put my name up. Don't put my name up. I'm okay, because people would be like, "Yeah, that's how I expected Isaiah to go." Like, I bet he had some of that Taco Bell. I bet he Baja blasted his last one. Like, I just don't. Please, just let me die in obscurity. Actually, no. What am I saying? My vain ass. Go ahead and put that in the obit. Please do a bonus episode. Take control of the podcast in my honor and let them know how I died, like I lived. Gosh, obviously it's a bummer. Let's see. Cyclospora, the parasite found in human feces that causes cyclosporasis, can lead to dehydration because of the loss of fluid through severe diarrhea and vomiting, said Dr. William Schaffner? Dr. William Schaffner, an infectious disease specialist at Vanderbilt University Medical Center. The illness is often treated with Bactrim, an antibiotic, although many people with healthy immune systems can recover on their own, he said. Yeah, because when I initially had looked into this, I was like, yeah, you could die, right? And then I'm immediately going in, it's like, no, that's not really likely. And but of course you're thinking about these in like the best of times, best case scenario, but there are certain situations where someone can potentially lose their life because of the symptoms of this. It's just too much of the outbound, not enough inbound, especially in terms of water. So obviously it's very unfortunate, it's very sad. They go through a bit of recap, in terms of mentioning Taylor Farms, in terms of mentioning Taco Bell, all that. We've been through that. We've treaded those waters. By all means, go back to the article if you want those details. But um, once again, condolences. People, who've lost their lives to this situation. Hopefully, there's not more of that. Hopefully, we really have this tamped down. I really haven't heard as much about it in recent, like, week or so. So that's good, right? Hopefully, things are getting better. But this is a sad development for sure. But yeah, fortunately, that is where we are going to leave it. That'll be the episode. But if you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. Become a newsie today. Yes. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1, gmail.com. Yeah. IsaiahNews1 at gmail.com. It's blowing up there on Gmail. Let's see. Feel free to follow on TikTok, follow on Spotify, follow on Apple Podcast, wherever you'd like to listen. Leave a like, leave a cool comment. I didn't say subscribe to the YouTube, but you should do that. That's the best place to hit that red button. Yeah, smash that like button. Leave a cool comment. Yeah, sharing, caring, always fun if you can do that. But it's okay if you don't. I realize it's really weird to like share some guy like, hey, look at this guy's spot. Like that's strange. So I get that. I understand. It's a very limited thing. But like, hey. All the stars are appreciated on any of the reviews. Like I said, the nice comments are always appreciated. Say like, "Wow, how fun, how riveting." It's like Doug Benson, but like it's a black guy. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Let's see. But you don't have to do any of that. I really just appreciate that. I'm not just shouting into the nether, the void, the nothingness. But like every once in a while, there's someone who goes, "Oh, what's going on here? What's Isaiah up to today?" And we're all happy, and that's pretty cool. So yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend, and hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye bye. Mwah.